Nice to meet you, Avi.
Sure. And what responsibilities you handle at Chromalloy, if you could, I mean, before others.
I'm one of the directors of global sourcing, and this is kind of tied to how we manage our suppliers. So that's kind of how I got tied into it. I'd asked some questions about our incumbent, and John had already started down the road and looking for other options, which I was like very thankful for. So yeah, that's how I'm tied into it. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Stacy. My name is Abhi. I represent Aquis Compliance, and I'm the CEO and one of the subject matter expert here. Good to connect with you today.
Hello.
And we have Alan. Alan represents our business development team.
Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, we'll give a couple of minutes for others and then we'll get started. Okay.
Oh, I'm very bright this morning.
I'm taking this remotely, Friday traveling, so not on cam. Sorry for that.
No worries.
I did not.
Abby, was John expected to join? I don't see him on the invite. I know Amanda's probably the key person that we need to have join.
John, John did not accept the meeting though. Let me check, right? I think from my invite, what I could see is he invited three of you or Scott. I think John and Scott did not accept the meeting. So should we go ahead and start this, or do you want to ping them and see?
Stacy, do you want to check in with Amanda?
Yeah, she didn't accept. Let me see.
Oh, she asked for the meeting to be. Oh wait, I'm all screwed up because of time difference. For 11:30, but isn't it only 9? Maybe we have another one.
We have another one.
Okay, well, I guess we can kick it off.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, if required, we can do follow up this with one more for the other folks. Okay, we are comfortable with that. Yes, we know a few information about what you're looking at. I don't want to spend maybe too much time on the slides today, but just as it's our first discussion, would like to give you a quick introduction about Aquis and who we are. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, sure. As mentioned, my name is Abhi, and I had the product vision here at Aquis. We are in the business for last 5 years. Now we are one of the fastest growing compliance solution provider in the market today. We also work with some Fortune 100 companies on setting up their compliance initiatives and driving the success. In US, we have a sales office in Glen Allen, Virginia. Most of our compliance operation is based out of Bangalore, India. That's where a lot of our managed services group sit, right? I mean, we have a global footprints in US. We have regional consultant, compliance consultants. If there is a consulting requirement for on-site, we can support that as well. Right? These are some of the well-known names like Mike Krishnas or Kelly and whatnot. Before I take you to our solution, I always point out to the customers like how the global sustainability and product compliance regulations are growing, right? Exponentially year on year. This is the data from C2P. And you could see how over the years, the requirement across various parts of the world is growing, specifically on the sustainability and product compliance space, right? And if the next question is what we do, we right now provide solution under 4 business units. One is our environmental compliance services, where we support all hazard substance regulations across the globe, right? Including the well-known ones like REACH or the ROS or the California Prop 65, or now the PFAS, which is an discussion, right? And the second business unit deals with responsible sourcing. I think you guys may be responsible for a lot of this, which includes the conflict minerals, extended minerals, advanced minerals, code of conduct survey based on RBI guidelines, right? Or UFLPA or what else? Slavery and trafficking, like the forced labor regulations and anti-bribery and information security, so on and so forth. All of that falls under our responsible sourcing business unit. I mean, last 1.5 to 2 years, we extended our support to ESG because our existing customer wanted us to support there. Today, we have a fully fledged ESG solution, right from materiality assessment to understand which of these, ESG topics are applicable for your business and helping you then to survey your suppliers or internal stakeholders on the resource usage and emissions and things like that, and help you to then standardize your program for GRI or SASB, these global standards, and also help in reporting for climate disclosure laws in SEC or in California, CSRD, which is coming up in Europe and whatnot. So, including reporting, right? We have a complete solution under ESG. Is there a separate team which is managing ESG in your organization, or is it something you guys are looking at? Is your team responsible? Just curious. Yeah, that
You asked, I'm sorry, you asked if what is responsible?
I mean, ESG, right? Environmental, social governance. Will that fall under a different team? Sustainability, like carbon emission and all of these things. Is it currently handled, or is it something to look in the future?
It's kind of hand in hand with our EH&S team and our VP. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. And the fourth one is like to elaborate on this, right? Environmental compliance. You can see a few regulation here. All of this can be covered. I touched upon responsible sourcing. EUDR is coming up if you have something on the forest origin, right? EMRTs and all of this. And then we were discussing about the ESG solutions, where of course, the responsible sourcing, product stewardship, all of this comes under ESG, but there are other governance and environmental topics also, right? We can support there. And finally, I was talking about trade compliance. Now, HSSTS code sourcing from your suppliers or country of origin inquiries, free trade agreement related data, right? Including USMCA. Or EU preferential trade, all of these free trade agreement related data sourcing from your suppliers, or dual source, dual use goods screening or denied party, sanctioned party screening. These kind of support also we do offer under trade compliance solutions. Right? Now, what do we do for these regulations, right?
Sorry, Abhi, before we continue, do you mind if we in between? So I just wanted to make sure that we got a chance to meet her.
Yes. Yes. Hi, Amanda. How are you? This is Abhi. I'm one of the subject matter expert here at Aquis, and we have Alan on the other side from Aquis. He represents our business development team. How are you?
Good morning. Apologies for being late. My computer decided to do one of those automatic shutdown and restarts this morning. Probably because I've been delaying it for 2 weeks and finally told me I couldn't delay it anymore and just took it upon itself to shut down. So I am sorry I'm a few minutes late. I believe you spoke with John Mayer, who's one of my trade compliance managers. And I had asked him to do some research into some supply chain compliance providers. So I'm the chief legal officer for Chromalloy. Yes. And so both compliance and legal report into me. And as far as compliance is concerned, I cover HR compliance, trade compliance, and general risk management. And so one of the elements of that is updating our supply chain compliance and the mechanisms through which we slow down things like code of conduct, human rights, REACH, other environmental compliance obligations related to ESG, as well as corruption and the other things that we need to survey and manage in our supply chain.
Got it. So our expertise is mostly in the product compliance and sustainability solution, right? Supply chain sustainability solution. That's what I was just explaining. So we classify hard substance track. Right, and the responsible sourcing, which you also just mentioned, on the conflict mineral, now extended minerals, advanced minerals reporting template got released this year, UDR, UFLPA, code of conduct, those kind of surveys, right? All kind of supplier related surveys can be handled using our responsible source. Some customers comes to us and ask us to collect ISO documentations and things like that, which can be, those surveys can be customized as well. ESG, the materiality assessment to helping you to standardize with global ESG reporting standards like GRI, and then helping you to do your annual reporting, helping you to areas which we can improve to improve our results, and also comply with climate disclosure laws like in California or SEC or other part of the world. Right, so all of this we cover under our ESG business unit, and the trade compliance, which you mentioned. We support in import-export classification data sourcing. We also have trade compliance specialists to do that classification based on the descriptions and available information if that is required. Free trade related agreement data sourcing, right? Including USMCA, EU. Preferential trade agreements or Australia-US free trade agreements, so on and so forth, including the country of origin, dual use, denied party, sanctioned party screening, those kind of things we do support. I was now explaining that, we will jump to the tool. I know you guys are interested to seeing the tool, but this is one of those last two slides I want to just point out so that we have a understanding of what Aquis does, right? So our solution starts from consulting, right? If you want, like all of these are flexible, but we do have a turnkey solution. Consulting to understand the gap, on create the roadmap to become compliant, right? And training the internal stakeholders or internal and external stakeholders, as well as regulatory updates, right? Monitoring the regulations to specific to your industry and product lines in this changing environment. All of this we support under our consulting program. The second one is our compliance process automation platform, which will help you to automate your supplier engagement program, data validation, risk analysis, and report generation. We will go through the platform today. Third is the managed or professional service. We have a a group of chemical engineers, compliance analysts, and a contact center, multilingual, multi-shift contact center, who even reach out to suppliers directly over the phone for non-responsive suppliers to source the data, right? So we have managed services to engage your supplier base, validate those data, do the risk assessment, and help you generate those reports, maybe sometimes for regulatory bodies like EPA for PFAS or SKIP database reporting, or for customer compliance questionnaire request management, right? And then once you engage with us, we help you in managing the ongoing compliance as well, right, throughout the subscription year. What are we up to, right? I mean, if you ask Acquiz, what are we building, right? So in manufacturing companies, product companies, generally what happens is there is two systems, major systems, like one, the ERP system, which is the mother of all the systems and keeps all the information related to the business. And then there may be PLM systems, which includes your engineering drawings, bill of materials, product data, and all of that. A new system is emerging in the market, which Acquiz would like to be a flag bearer, right? We support few of these regulations as of today, but the idea is to expand it and be a centralized system for companies like you to manage all the sustainability related information. Data and compliance regulations, right? Requirements, right? That's what we are looking at big picture, right? Of course, you guys are using the tool, so typically you know what is the benefits out of a tool. But one of the major differences which we offer is our data coverage, right? So I have spent close to 2 decades in the services, IT services business, supporting companies like yours in supplier engagement, data collection, risk analysis, and all of this, right? And we understand that part. So if you see our tool, we have a very comprehensive and one of its kind 360-degree visibility, compliance campaign management capabilities, right? I mean, which has helped us to maximize the data coverage through simplifying the supplier portal, direct engagement with the non-responsive suppliers, and working on a milestone basis with the supplier. It's not that I need all this data. Maybe all your suppliers are not ready, right? Different suppliers at different level. Maybe initially year, the goal should be to collect what your supplier has, so that then we can gauge the risk, which are the high risk suppliers for sustainability, right? I mean, and then maybe the supply chain team, sourcing team can take a corrective action, maybe put some commercial pressure, because how important this is becoming to do business globally, right? And then, or maybe find an alternate. So we, even with non-responsive suppliers, what we offer our customers, or where we differentiate, is we cannot produce any data. We rely on your suppliers to provide that data, but to get that actionable insight, right? Whether they are agreeing to provide the data, or will they provide after they need more time to provide the data, or sometimes we get response right. They haven't brought from us from last 2 years. We are not going to support. I mean, maybe a legacy supplier, right? So all of these kind of things we come across, and we give this insight back to you, so that you can take corrective action even with those non-responsive suppliers, right? Yeah, I mean, with that, I would like to jump to the tool and come to the crux. Before that, if there is any question, I can answer. Yes, I'll give it a minute.
Yeah, I don't have any specific questions. I'm really interested in seeing how the tool works, and I may have questions as we go through the tool. I'm sure Stacy and Jennifer, introduced themselves while I was struggling with my computer, but they own procurement. So, I want to make sure that, we're covering everything they may be looking at or thinking about from a procurement standpoint, as well as, what we need from an ESG and compliance standpoint.
Sure. Yeah, let me start then, right? If there is anything, please feel free to stop and ask at any point of time. So let's cover the data points, right, to begin with. So you have your products, and those products has bill of materials, and you want to, for product compliance regulations, you want to track and analyze risk at each bill of material or product BOM level, right? So the input we will get required from you is your internal item number, manufacturer name, manufacturer part number, available description of the part, right?
Okay.
Other other than this, sorry, that is Siri, right? Sorry for that. Yeah. So, I mean, other than this, if there is any component specific data which will help the compliance program, like commodity type, part category, all these information will help, because then we can classify some of them, for example, label supplier, maybe out of scope for ROHS and these kind of things. Okay. I heard the sound. So, I mean, if you have question, directly jump in. Yeah. So all of this, this is the input we will get from you. And if you want to know, once the data is inside the system, how are we visualizing it? We have these regulation specific tabs, right? The data provided by your suppliers, or of course, if something is we are sourcing in from their websites or whatever, we can update the status, whether compliant with exemption. If it is ROHS, if exemption is there, they can select which exemption they are compliant with, right? And provide the respective documents, right? Those information.
So I'm just going to stop you there. So you've got our internal number, you've got the manufacturer number and this description. So is the supplier filling out, are you sending like an email to the supplier and they're filling all this information into your system when they click on a link and telling you whether or not their part number is compliant? Or are the part numbers getting inputted some other way, and you have like some type of database in the background that knows whether certain part numbers and descriptions are compliant or non-compliant depending on what regulation you're looking at?
Right. So very good question, right? So there are three ways. I mean, first obviously is campaign manager, where I will give a little more detail about that, where of course supplier will get a unique link. They can click the link and submit the data. That will come to our pending approval tab, right? We will go through that flow, and our resources will review each of those documentation and approve or reject it, right? Before it goes to your main database, it will be managed. Okay, but supplier are not limited to submit in the only through the link, right? As you know, based on your previous experience, some supplier will just attach some documents and send it, right? Respond to the email which they have received, attach something, maybe attach some CMRDs or other information. Even those data will come to the system, right? Directly. I mean, you have the visibility also within the email inbox. Even
so is what I see on the screen, I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, is what I see on the screen the email that our suppliers would get asking for the information?
Yeah, this maybe, I mean, I can show to that file. Let's go to that step first, right? Because that's the question, how the things are done, right? Let me talk about the survey list. So now you have all the components, right, from various bill of materials, which you need to reach out to suppliers and get the data. What you will do is we can create a survey list with the set of parts. I mean, you can search and do it, or we can add an entire product or entire supplier list component directly into a created survey list, right? So you have survey
okay,
list.
I'm gonna stop you there, right? Because the details to me are very important, right? Because we don't want to irritate our suppliers, right, by making them do too much work, right? We also don't want them to fill us out and then have it not be meaningful or useful. So yeah, we'll need to, from our point of view, right, we're going to need to provide you a list of our supplier names, their email addresses for the point of contact of the person who should fill out the survey, and the part numbers that we purchase from them. Like, what are we collecting from our suppliers up front versus what are we asking the suppliers to input when they click on the link?
Sure. A lot of great questions there, right? I mean, what you are providing me, I was thinking if I can show you if I have, let me just show you an onboarding template so that you know what data, first of all, you guys are providing us, right? Sorry. Yeah, I mean, your product BOM details, and your minimum information is your internal item manufacturer name or description, right? And then supplier level data, supplier name, I mean ID and supplier name. If you have some of those, not everything is mandatory information. Along with your available email is the email and the phone number is the minimum information we want from you. Once we get this data, it is part of our implementation and setup process that we will cleanse that data and bring it into our format, right? Whichever format, you can dump it as it is and we will cleanse it. Even if you have existing data from your previous vendor, you can dump that data. And we have another, we have the capabilities to even import your existing data, right? ROS, reach, or whatever data you may already have, so that we, if you wish to, we don't have to start from the scratch, right? And once that is done, introduction campaigns are sent to your supplier. We will decide, while selecting the survey list, we will decide which are the suppliers we want to add to a campaign survey list, right? It is like, or created list, I can add it, a couple of suppliers I can select and add all their.
How do you make the determination which suppliers get which surveys, right? Like, so conflict minerals, right? We do conflict minerals reporting every year. We do reach. We do the other one, the ROS, however you, the ROH, right? So do we tell you which suppliers, or do you make that determination based on the product numbers and manufacturers in the master spreadsheet that we send you?
See, you will tell us what are the regulations in scope you are targeting, right? Those are the modules you will subscribe. And those are the modules, including the conflict mineral. I will come to that, right? Or the responsible sourcing ones. You will see those tabs here, okay? So in Campaign Manager, while setting up the campaign, we can absolutely decide which are the paths and the suppliers we want to survey. And we also have the flexibility. Let me just go through this. I will name it something. I'm creating a campaign just so that you get the clarity, and then I will also show you the supplier portal. How does that look like? Okay, I will name this survey list something, and then I will decide from the survey list which are the survey list I want to add in this particular campaign. If some supplier contact is missing, of course, system will notify. Then based on your subscribed thing, you have the, we will, if managed services is part of this, we will do this this with you, right? We will discuss this in project kickoff call to see which are the regulations you want to prioritize, or do you want to send all of this together, or let's start with ROS, reach, and maybe PFAS or few regulation first, and then we will start the conflict mineral and extended minerals maybe later. You can decide, right? So this is that flexible. So how do we decide? Based on customer preferences and based on regulatory changes, right? If you have collected all the ROHS data, imagine, right? Now you want to, now we go through that process. If it is a follow-up, just to complete this thought process, we can set up the campaign and we will put this unique supplier link, which will go as a unique link to each of the suppliers, listing only the part requested in that particular campaign and only listing the regulations which we have selected here, right? And then I can go and next step schedule the campaign. So now coming back to again the major question, how do we determine based on your preferences, based on, initially we want to, if you don't have any data, we want to reach out and try to collect all the regulatory data, right, for this year. And from there, we decide, for example, ROHs, if you come with all the existing data, I don't want to worry about all the parts. I will, today you guys might have heard, yesterday there is a regulatory update, all the lead exemptions, few of them got extended, renewed, and one or two got revoked, right? Then I will see what is in scope. Our regulatory expert team will, based on your industry, determine, okay, we have all these lead exemption paths, right? We may want to reach out to them, right? And then get updated data from this. So we will create a custom survey list for this and maybe just ask ROHS. If it is a triggered by a regulatory changes, right? If you have a lot of ROHS data collected and status is yes, and no substance has changed, maybe it is redundant to go back to the supplier and ask that data, right? Am I making sense?
Yeah, can you go back to the spreadsheet that we need to fill out?
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so when we fill this out, based on how you do your pricing or your programming, are we limited to a certain number of suppliers? Can we, did it has to be the same list of suppliers for conflict minerals as it is for REACH, as it is for, human rights?
Yeah. I mean, good questions, right? I mean, again, we have at supplier level, right? You provide us suppliers. For example, say there is a supplier, you are not selling in the US or something. We have the capabilities to mark that entire suppliers out of scope for some regulation, right? These are the initial things we will evaluate and do.
Right. No, I understand that, right? We don't need to, we may not need to survey, US suppliers for REACH, but maybe we need to do the whole list for conflict minerals, for example. So when you do your pricing and your program setup, again, do you do it like, okay, for 200 suppliers it's X, for 500 suppliers it's Y? Are we limited in that number of suppliers that we put on that spreadsheet?
Absolutely right. I mean, see, our pricing depends on three things, right? I mean, we are one of those companies who have publicly put our numbers also, right? I mean, for small businesses, of course. Our price depends upon three things, right? One is the number of parts. I mean, there is environmental compliance, responsible sourcing here. A number of parts you load us, number of suppliers you load us, and the number of regulatory modules, right? We may see number of regulatory modules. These are the three factors which will determine the cost, if I answered your question.
Okay, so it's based on parts, suppliers, and the number of regulations.
Yes, three factors. Okay.
But before you go on, because I specifically
it's your session. I have to answer
on the call this morning, right? Jen and Stacy, do you have the ability to be able to complete the spreadsheet with the level of detail that he's had, where you have the name, our internal part number, the supplier part number, and the brief description? Is that something that you have the ability to pull out of an existing system, or is that going to be a completely manual exercise for you guys?
Some of it will be manual depending on the site. So some of it we can pull easier, but we don't have easily accessible bombs. So it's going to be a combination. It's not an easy, we'll have that done in a couple days.
Okay.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah. See, in your current tool, you guys don't manage bill of material, just part list. Is that how you are managing? Just curious. Or is it?
It depends on the site.
Okay. See, we have both the options, right? There is I mean, just to going back to, let me just tell you three data points, how we manage the data. Then you guys will get better clarity, right? So now, in terms of bill of material, even the complex multi-level bill of material we can track it, right? So these products will have duplicates, and maybe there are similar parts used in multiple sites also, right? So we have a components page here. I mean, product, why it is important? Because end of the day, maybe if your customer is requesting for a declaration, you may want to real time roll up the report, analyze the report, and generate those declarations, right? In your company letterhead with your language, signatory details. I mean, I'm just zooming out. You can, system will automatically roll up the status, right? There is a substance. If there is a skip reported, it will put the skip number, right? You can download this as a PDF and then send it to your customers, right? That's why bill of material is may become important for you guys. For system, it is not mandatory, right? You can give me just list of parts and the suppliers, this list, this is the components page where you can manage things at company level, right? This is maybe all the unique components from all of your suppliers, right? So there is component page. Now the third data point is suppliers, right? So that is the supplier page what we have, right? Here you will have all the unique suppliers you are reaching out to collect the data, right? And we have supplier profile pages which will give you more insights when you are in the, I mean, insights wise, I will summarize later. We have a better insight than any tool in the market, but basically we are managing contact information at the supplier level. Maybe we may want to tag a supplier only for responsible sourcing. Somebody is responsible for ROS reach, whatever, right? So we will maintain this contact information. Like initially we'll provide this data, but sometime when we do the campaign, we understand, okay, this person is the compliance contact. So we also keep this contact database updated, which is then used in the campaign manager while reaching out to the suppliers, right?
Can you, okay. I'm going to stop you on and maybe you're going to go into this now. For the campaign manager, you send whichever set of regulations we're looking to manage at any given time, right? And I imagine we'll spread them out through the year because we're not going to hit them with 6 or 7 requests all at the same time.
Right.
But what is the process? You send an email, and then how often do you follow up? And is the follow-up just more emails? How do you manage the campaign to try to get as close to 100% response as possible?
Really good question, right? So this is the campaign we have run. I will start from there. Initial campaign is set up, and then we will decide all these things in the project kickoff call. Generally, should we do follow-up once a week? Once in 3 days. The second follow-up in email, should it go after 3 days or 7 days and whatnot? But what we effectively use is this intelligence, right? For each supplier in the campaign, we will know what actions they have taken, right? Whether they have visited the supplier portal link, whether they have opened the email. So this data we will use to effectively reach out to the supplier over the phone as well. As I said, we have a contact center in Bangalore office whose job is to engage the supplier over the phone, not just through email, and penetrate inside the company to understand who is that right compliance contact. So that either we get the data or an answer, whether they support the data or not support the data, right? So we will reach out to them. But the process to tell you, initial email will go on based on this. If somebody has second email should go in 3 or 4 days, right? For all the non-responded suppliers. Right. And then we will use this delivered information to effectively call the supplier. If he has not opened the email for 3 days or not visited the supplier portal, there is a high chances that he is not the right person inside the company, right? So we have to engage them over the phone and get the data, right? So this cadence, we will finalize with you, based on your preferences, because different companies have different preferences on how we go out about following up suppliers. But it is never about pressurizing your suppliers to do anything. It is about a partnership, right? We are your extended team of engaging your suppliers as Chromalloy's contract resource or whatever, right? To get this data or understand whether they have the data, they can support it now or in the future, right? And even the email, we will set up one centralized email so that the supplier is getting the email from Chromalloy, not Acquis Compliance, right? Maybe it is data request or compliance at chromalloy.com. So supplier is seeing this. Acquis is only the portal which can support for the supplier. Chromalloy is the front end, and we are supporting you in engaging your suppliers to get that data, right? So that is the mindset. And now I showed you, I don't know if I answered that question, right? There is follow-up emails. You see these pluses. These are the follow-up email we can set up. And then we have AI follow-ups also, because we are talking about this. So AI will now create a subset of survey list at any point, my will, right? I decide, okay, now it's been 1 week or 10 days, I need to send a follow-up email. It will create a survey list with the parts, right? Whichever, all this can be customized. That's why control is over you, but the AI is selecting and creating a survey list, follow-up survey list for the suppliers who have not submitted the data or partially submitted the data, right? Did I answer question? I can go to more details if something is not clear there.
So how long is the time period? Like how long, you have all these follow-ups, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long do you give them before you have to close it out and report the results?
Yeah, based on our experience, the best time we should, the minimum time we should give any suppliers to respond to a request is 12 to 14 weeks, right? If somebody has a different level, 12 to 14 weeks. Sometimes we extend for 1 more month, but these supplier portal links comes with an expiry date, and those expiry dates can be pushed, extended if we, after 12 weeks, we think that some of the suppliers need more data. So I would say that minimum we will chase them for 12 to 14 weeks, but we are not saying that we are closing that supplier. We are discussing this escalation with you in week review calls, right? Our program manager, who will be your single point of contact for all the regulatory, technical, any issues from Aquest. And in weekly review calls, we will escalate few suppliers and show it to you in the presentation and tell you that, okay, this supplier is saying that, okay, they need a PO to submit the data, right? Or these kind of things. The simple answer is minimum we should give 12 to 14 weeks. So in our tool, if you see, when you set up a survey, if you don't change it, default is 12 weeks time. That is 3 months. Okay.
So 3 months.
Yeah. In between that, at least 3 phone calls, 3 emails will go to the follow-up emails will go to the suppliers. You got my, is that clear?
Yeah. And how do you, so say there's 6, right? Say there's 6 different, I'll call them modules or programs, right? That we want to run. How do you space those out among the suppliers?
Sorry, can you come back with that question, please?
If we're going to run 6 different campaigns, right? We're going to run conflict minerals, reach, trafficking, code of conduct, right? We're going to run 6 different campaigns. How do you stagger those in the requests to the suppliers?
Again, that is discussion between us, right? If it is an initial survey, beginning of the year, when we contract, we decide that, okay, these are the regulations we need to request, right? You can decide which regulations we have to, how do we stagger that? Maybe that depends. For example, reach may require update in 6 months, right? Initial, we might have, if you don't have the data, I want to see the scenario, right? Existing, what is available to clearly tell you what it is. But in our usual approach, when our customers comes to us, initial campaign, maybe those, ideally we will say 6 or 7, 5, 6, 7 is a good number of data points you can request from the suppliers, right? Otherwise it will become burden. Then maybe after 2-3 months, we can repeat another campaign for a different regulations. But ideally, you should not be surveying your suppliers not more than 2 times in a year. Like that means to say that whatever you are requesting, right? Sometimes it's good to go together. Some supplier will like, okay, he asked me Ross reach a couple of months back. Why did not he ask conflict mineral, right? There is no one answer here, Jen. We need to discuss and decide on it, but we can give you suggestion and tell you that, okay, this is the best approach, but we always consult with our customer because you are in control of the entire program. It is not who we are dictating that this is how it has to be done, right? So we are more of an extended arm who will give you suggestions like this, and then we will take a call together on how you want to approach it. Okay, because it varies for different customers and industries as well. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so just continuing on, right? One thing we did not touch is how does our supplier portal look, right? I will copy a supplier portal link from my campaign manager. This would have gone to a supplier like an email, right? So now, once they click on the link, they will land on a portal like this. We have very simplified approach. Our assumption is that it should be even simpler than filling an Excel sheet for suppliers to avoid supplier fatigue and going through so many clicks to submit the data, which happens with some competition, and suppliers always complained about it, right? So we take all that into consideration. So when supplier land in introduction, whatever regulation you have selected in that campaign, there is a brief about those regulation with links to the official regulation wordings if they want. If they want declaration template to fill in and submit, they have those declaration template to download, right? Otherwise, they can go to view request or click somewhere here. They will know that there is 26 parts which has been requested. If they need help in how to update the data in every step of the way, there is guidance for them to help them understand how to get the data. Even videos and all these are there in support. We will show you. Now, how do suppliers submit the data? Now imagine, you guys would have submitted some data to Ascent or some Excel format suppliers who will send you Excels. Now here it is simple, right? Sometimes they provide blanket declaration, maybe multiple part at a time, or sometimes it's one part at a time. So they, whatever data point is relevant for those suppliers, they will say whether those selected parts are compliant or not compliant. If it is not compliant, this will get activated, right? Substance of concern field. And they will tell which version of the regulation they are compliant to. Some of, new substance keeps adding, right? And then they select one or multiple substance of concern data, attach some relevant, I'll attach some random document here, right? And then they submit the document. As simple as this. Once they submit this, this will be in pending approval state, and once it is approved, it will go to the approved state. We will see that also. It is similar for PFAS, maybe there is more data points, right? PFAS concentration and what is the weight and all the documents they have submitted. Once it is approved, or it can be rejected, right? Similar way it works for conflict minerals also. We will see the conflict mineral module in detail, where either they can provide part level declarations or they can upload a company level declaration. They are flexible in that matter, right? Or take a code of conduct survey, agree to your code of conduct, and then upload their code of conduct documentation as well, right? So they will go through this portal. It's as simple as that. The point is I'm trying to make is we are trying to make it easier for that supplier so that we collect whatever data is available, right? Rather than putting the supplier in a boundary and, okay, this is the data I want, and you need to submit it, right? And I told you about the help thing. Or they can contact us or the support team, compliance team or the technical support if they need any help, right? This is in the supplier portal. And once the data is submitted, it will come to the pending approval, right? Where for conflict minerals and all that, it will directly go and register here because validation happens within the tool, right? But some of these regulation, our resources will review the documentation and either they approve that. Once after approval, it will go and sit in the master database so that there is a checkpoint of the validation, quality check, right, before we approve. Or they can reject a response, right? Reject with reasons, maybe part number not specified, or some reasons they can reject. And all those rejections will line up here. Okay, you see some of these warnings. This is through our AI. Now it's in a beta stage where we are reading the document and verifying it against the supplier claims. And if there is any deviation, or if we did not find anything related to PFAS in that document, it is giving warning to our resources so that they can carefully review that. In future, we will start auto approving it. Right now, we have 80% accuracy in that. And once we see here, if there is some not clarity or something, it will provide those warning until if everything is proper, it will not give warning. And we will, whatever not warning in future, we will start auto approving, thereby reducing the this validation effort. Okay. See, this is on the supplier portal side. Even I told you, even if they reply to that email, attach something, even that document will come to your inboxes to manage and respond. Cool. And then, I think to fast phase few of the stuff, even in conflict mineral, if you see, right, we have a unique portal, right? All of the solutions we have built is built with, with our own experiences, right? So system can read all your CMRTs, EMRTs. If I have to go through a flow, let me quickly upload a document, right? Yeah, maybe system will automatically read and capture and validate the information. User can go back and check if they want to. Right, for any steps, it would have captured all the information. User had to save and close it. Right. This is similar for even supplier portal thing. If there is some error, it will show the error. Once the data is imported, you will see if there is something coming from DRC or surrounding region, which are those metals. If something is coming from the Karas region, if that is there, what are those metals or minerals, right? And without opening the file, of course, all files are there right here. Without opening the file, you can go and check what is the answer, what was the percentage response they had, right? There is a legend which will explain you what all of this means, right? This is the visualization of it. And if you want further details, we have view tab where you can go and review all the comments and things supplier has mentioned. And say somebody is selling a gold and he's buying it from a high sensitive or the conflict affected region. Maybe after back and forth in corrective actions, we figure out that he's not using the gold in that product he's supplying to you. Maybe it is a stainless steel, some mold, right? So we can have the ability to change that, or any other kind of supporting document you have, we can upload that. This is on the declaration side. And then we will list all the unique smelters reported by your suppliers, right? All the unique suppliers here. Right now we did some submissions, so that is notification coming in.
The data that comes in, right, from these suppliers, are you storing it on a server in India? Is it in some type of encrypted cloud? How are you managing the storage and security of the data?
Sure. Yeah. Important question, right? We are an enterprise grade company, and we handle a lot of sensitive data like bill of materials. So all the data is encrypted both when it is stored and when it is in transition. In terms of storing, this is stored in Microsoft Azure cloud in the eastern region of the US, right? So it is all stored in the US, and 75% at least of our customers are from North American market. That's the primary market we operate in. Okay. And we also provide you this risk scoring. This is updated every week, right? Based on the RMI's audit thing, whether conformant, non-conformant, and geographical basis. You will get these, you can sort it, but yeah, you can put filter for high risk and analyze why they are high risk, those reasons. And then we will also help you in going back and doing the corrective and preventive action with some of these high risk suppliers, right? Asking them to remove it from there or working from there. Based on, we will decide this together. And then you have the summary, right? How many high risk, low risk, and product level or company level, what level of declaration, where is your smelters, and all the previous consolidation. See, you can. Now we are running the campaign, and some customer comes and asks you for a consolidated file, right? With a click of a button, at that moment of time, real time, you can generate these declaration, right? Once you fill these information, it will automatically come from the second time onwards. If it is product level, you can select products, or you can make it company level and whatnot, right? Declare at company level. System will roll up all these informations, right? As you guys know. Percentage is less than 50 right now, right? And it will, if you want to add websites, and again, once you fill this policy information, this is about your company, right? So that will show up, and anybody with a click of view button can automatically generate those consolidated reports, right? And system will take a couple of minutes, and it will get downloaded, and also all the previous downloads will be stored here, right? For you, if you want.
So this will be a report based on, if we surveyed 200 suppliers, you'll tell us what % complete we are.
Yeah, I mean, these are the total percent. I mean, this is a demo server, but year on year, you can, you will see this response rates. How many supplier are in scope? You can make some supplier out of scope also, right? Out of those suppliers, how many supplier has responded? See, CMRT got consolidated and got downloaded now. Response rate, what is the current response rate as of date, right? So you will see all these kind of statistics.
And then it looks like you break it down further, right?
Sorry?
So the charts, right? You're breaking it down you're also breaking it down based on risk assessment and the type of. So you've got company, user, and product. So what's the company, user, and product telling me?
Yes, yes. I mean, if you want to, you mean that you want to generate at a product level or something, like maybe a subset of supplier for a specific customer. Is that what you are trying to understand? Even those things, you can decide which are the suppliers you are submitting to that particular customers and consolidate it at that subset level of supplier also. It's not necessary that you consolidate at company level, right? And maybe you are also, maybe this conflict mineral reports, right, for your annual filing or something. I mean, what we downloaded just now is CMRT, right? This is a consolidated CMRT. Maybe if your customers are asking, may take a couple of minutes to open. If your customers are asking, this is your company level CMRT, you may want to provide, right? Now we downloaded this with your details and whatnot, right? It will create this. This report is to respond to your customer request or whatnot. Then if you are looking for SEC support and all that, you can generate those declarations also. Generate conflict mineral response report where, again, whatever you are asking, right? Excel reports can be downloaded to CSV for further reporting, or you can also report. This is a response report to know which supplier has responded, which supplier has not, and those kind of reports.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically my question is how many different ways can we cut the data? So you can give us reports in terms of where we are in a particular campaign, in terms of response rate, and we can look at it by a certain subset of suppliers, by product. And then this system will also provide us the reports that we need to send to our customers who ask us about our conflict minerals compliance.
Absolutely.
When we get surveyed. So, and I'm just using conflict minerals as an example, but like we get a ton of ESG surveys, right? And so we can pull the data out of the system to provide those reports to the people that are surveying us as well.
Absolutely. Yes, that's the end goal. Right. And as you see, even smelter level reports are there, right? This is on the responsible sourcing side, right? Again, it works similarly for EMRT and other surveys. You will know which are, risk levels, and they can take the surveys, whichever is relevant code of conduct, or based on the answers, we also provide that visualization and whatnot. But one thing I also wanted to cover is if on the material compliance side, right, we have, once you have full material disclosure data, right, you guys have a lot of mechanical, steel, stainless steel, these kind of products. A lot of these products will have material standards used, and we can also use those material standards to derive these FMDs, right? Wherever you have FMDs, we will show it like this, right? Whatever, all the materials in that and all the substances in each of those materials. And if any of those materials crossing the threshold limit of any regulations you are tracking, there is a red flag which we provide, right? Not only this, we will automatically change status for all of your parts in scope, right? We will automatically assign the status using the full material disclosure data wherever available, right? And then put those substance of concern data, right? So these are also the warning you will get in the regulation specific modules. This is something inactive. That's why it does grayed out, right? You can make a part active or inactive. Not only this, going one step further, we have component profile pages, and each profile pages, you have one more kind of a risk view for FMD, which we call it as a mind map view of the FMD, where you will know like what are the materials of high risk in that particular component, right? When with the weight, gas numbers and whatnot. Okay.
Okay.
And audit
I
log.
have a hard stop at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Stacy and Jennifer, do you want me to put some time on the calendar?
Yeah.
Just to kind of
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
offline and understand
Yeah.
what we're trying to do here. Okay.
Be
Yes,
helpful.
that'd be great. Thanks, Amanda.
All right.
Sure. I've not shown the full capability also, but I think you guys got what you want. We have a very comprehensive system. If required, we can do one more round of follow-up demo to cover some of the other aspects. But if you have enough information to make your decisions or next step, you can, we can go through that. So what would be the ideal next step on this for us? I mean, you guys will come back.
Yeah, you will come back. We're evaluating a couple different options, a couple different providers because we're looking to move away from our current provider. I'm sure John explained that to you when he spoke with you. So once we finish all the demonstrations, we'll be back in touch with each of the candidates. So give us a week or two, and we'll be back in touch one way or the other.
Sure. Thanks a lot, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate the
Thank you.
time.
Appreciate it. All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.